Why do we separate max work and speed work onto different training days? Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you aren't subscribed or following yet, please do so, and if you would be so kind as to drop me a comment with your thoughts, with your questions, or just to say hello, I would greatly appreciate that. So let's get over to the topic. The simplest explanation, because they don't interfere with each other. Boom. All right, a little more complicated answer. Obviously, we're going to do hypertrophy work or assistance work behind doing these, right? Because we do need to focus on getting bigger. Size raises your strength ceiling. There's no way around it. You're going to need to do some bodybuilding work and hypertrophy work after both of these training modalities, almost no matter what, if you want to be optimal. Okay, hopefully we all understand this. I'm not going to argue that point. If you're at one of my videos of this level and you don't understand the basic connection between size and strength, you need to go back about 3 levels. Okay, you're not ready for this level of information. If you don't grasp that simple concept, you are not ready for the advanced stuff. All right, so understanding why we separate them. And then, of course, we're going to do hypertrophy work afterwards. All right, so what you have to think about, you're going to have to do something on your training days. So again, pragmatically speaking, we have to do something. And are we going to come in and do just hypertrophy work? I mean, come on. We need something that's geared towards our strength most of our days, at least at the start. So when we look at any of the conjugate type templates or MEDE templates, it's always we start with max work or speed work or max effort or dynamic effort before you do, your supplemental work. Whether you want to call it assistance, accessory, bodybuilding work, hypertrophy work, whatever you want to call that. Okay, use whatever name you want. We could argue the differences. They're subtle. All right, so we've got to do something towards our strength. All right, so the thing is, if we start with max work, okay, great. Makes sense. Everyone understands max effort work. I don't think this is a complicated topic. We all know lifting really heavy weights makes you stronger. Anybody in denial of that? Again, we're back to, you need to go back a couple tiers. Yes. We all know this. Lifting weights above 90% of your 1 rep max absolutely raise strength. They improve neural drive. They improve intermuscular and extramuscular coordination. Mainly their coordination in the nervous system thing. Okay? And we don't care about getting bigger. Let's come back over to the other point. People say, well, if I did this with my max work instead, I could turn it into a little bit of muscle growth. Really, do we care? No, we're doing max work to get strong. You're going to just come back over. You're going to do hypertrophy work after anyways. Don't worry about it. Get strong. Okay, so true max effort work, we are lifting to maxes. They're going to be above 90%, preferably above 95% of what you're capable of doing. The weight is going to slow down. Okay, that's when you know you've gotten close enough to a max when you do that last rep and it moves slow. Instead of 2 seconds, it's 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Usually 3.5. Anything past above a 3-second concentric rep, we're up into max territory, right? We all understand this, right? Hopefully we get that. If you can do it in 2 seconds, it's not a max. Period. Full stop. All right. So, like right here, you're going to watch this medium grip. I'm terrible at medium grip, by the way. So we're going to do max effort work. All right. Max effort work is the #1 key to getting strong. You can't do much of it. It beats you up. Okay. True maxes. Okay. Watch this rep. Look how long it takes me. Like it comes off the chest pretty quick because I'm doing, flat back pretty much. No leg drive there. Just a smooth brute strength through that lift. There was not in trying to use any technique. Once it hit that sticking point, it moved real slow. All right. That's hard on your recovery. In fact, it's almost hard to lift after that sometimes. You need a moment where you can go do your rep work. Because I did weighted dips after that, right? Did some weighted dips. Actually, I did floor press and weighted dips. Okay. Takes a lot out of you. So you're probably only going to do hypertrophy work. People are like, well, you could do some speed work there, but why? You've already trained the max effort lift. You've gotten everything you're going to get from neural drive that day. And it's going to take you a little while to recover. If you do true max effort work on an upper and a lower lift in a week, so like for me, I'll do an upper on Monday, a lower on Tuesday. I don't want to lift anything that heavy the rest of the week. I don't want anything above 90% after. Why? Because you're having to recover from it. There are aspects of your body that need to recover. You've done an upper and a lower lift. There's structures of your body that are fatigued. Joints, tendons, everything. Not so much nervous system, right? That's kind of a myth. The structures of your body, they're feeling it. When we go to the speed work, it's not affected, right? Do we understand this? It doesn't matter how your joints feel from the other stuff. It doesn't matter if you got micro traumas all through your bones. The speed work is light. It is not affected at all. Your speed work doesn't move any slower based upon what happened on that day. Okay? Speed work is easy to recover from. Speed work is really hard when you're doing it. People laugh at it. They're like, dude, you have like nothing. That's 170 pounds on that bar plus a bunch of chains. What are you talking about? Till they do it. Dudes who aren't used to doing speed work, and you try to make them come in and do it, and you force them to go as fast as you need to go with those 30-second breaks between the sets. Not 30 seconds between the setups, 30 seconds between starting the next set from the time you ended the last one. 30 seconds. With that explosiveness, you sometimes vomit. Someone who's not used to this, I've seen them pass out. I've seen them vomit. I vomited before doing it. It's horrible in the moment. You recover from it instantly. At the end of a dynamic session, if you didn't do too much volume work, how do you feel at the end? You feel good. You feel refreshed. Max effort work, you don't. A lot of times you feel it the next day. You feel it in your bones. You don't get that with the speed work. It's horrible while you're doing it, but you just bounce back. And it doesn't interfere with the recovery. So in other words, we're able to get a second exposure to our basic movement patterns using maximum force production. In fact, it's a much higher exposure. Why? Because we're doing like 9 triples. We're doing like 10 or 12 doubles with a light weight. That's a lot of reps. It's a lot of first reps. And that's the idea. You're setting up over and over. You're exploding. We're getting all this force, high force production and set up over and over and over and over. The skill transfer to your maxes is very high. Setting aside the speed strength we get and other stuff that carries over to other performance attributes, setting that aside, the carryover to your maxes is high. You got a second exposure. But you did so in a way that does not interfere with the recovery. Okay? The max effort days don't seem to affect the speed work performance, and the speed work performance doesn't interfere with the recovery or the performance of the following max effort lifts the next week. There's no overlap in terms of what's used on the recovery end. So by doing them on different days, it gives us a beautiful stress recovery adaptation curve. And that's the idea. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.